Hello everyone and welcome back to Morocco and another sunny and windy day here in the Saf Oasis. So before we start talking about the truck, there's two things I just wanted to share. First of all, I'm sorry I didn't wash the truck. Driving off-road in these conditions will make it dirty anyway. And we wanted to film here and not on the parking lot of the car wash. Secondly, I think it's important to mention that we built this truck in the way that we thought was best. We are no experts on camper vans, we're no experts on 4x4 driving. So, the choices we made were based on our previous experiences, on things we saw online, and obviously what fit the budget. So for everything that we mention on the build and all the products that we used, there will be a link in the description below. The majority of the parts are from Australia adventure vehicles. That's simply because in Australia they use this model a lot and therefore there's a lot of parts available and not so much in Europe. And we are not sponsored in any way. When we built this truck, this channel didn't even exist. We're open for sponsors in the future, but at the moment that's not the case. So we'll start with the base truck. This is a Mitsubishi Fuso Canter 4x4 6C18, also known as the FGB71, I think, outside Europe. It has a 3-liter diesel engine with 180 brake horsepower with a 5-speed manual gearbox. Behind that gearbox sits a transfer case with high and low range. The standard Fuso runs as a rear-wheel drive, and through a button on the dashboard we can engage the front drivetrain. A maximum weight of 6.5 tons obviously means that you don't want to be in a hurry, which is fine because we have the time. To actually get 4-wheel drive we need to also manually engage the front hubs. So the rear diff has a limited slip differential, which in basic terms means that the differential will allow a limited amount of wheel speed difference between the left and right rear, but will continue to put power to both wheels. The front, however, is an open diff, and that basically means that if one wheel starts spinning, all the power will go to that wheel and the other will do nothing. So there is an upgrade available for the front diff. It's called a e-locker, which you could then engage and then make the power go to both front wheels. We haven't got that. It's a very nice upgrade, nice to have. It just didn't make our list of priorities. It's also quite expensive. Now, sometimes I think it would be nice to have, but it's also not something that you kind of just fit along the road. You really need to go to a proper garage to do that. On the front and the rear we have fitted Dobinsons 3-way shocks. So these shocks allow adjustment on rebound, high speed compression and low speed compression. We upgraded the front and rear springs, and this has given us about 5 centimeters of lift. And then finally the obvious upgrade is the wheels. So we have standard on this truck 17.5 inch rims with pretty small tires. I don't know the exact size. We upgraded to 37 inch on 17 inch tires. These all come from Australia. The larger wheel is just a must-have from our point of view. It provides the ability to lower the pressure when you're in soft sand or other off-road circumstances, and it provides way more comfort than the standard wheel. The main reason why we went for the Gladiator all-terrain was that they have both the mud and snow and the 3-peak mountain snowflake certification, which is mandatory during winter in many European countries. In addition, they have an E or 2,180 kilogram load rating. Yeah, so that pretty much sums up the suspension upgrades that we did to our truck. Springs, shocks and wheels basically, and we have been so surprised about how good this performs. On the front I think it's pretty obvious, the bullbar. Another upgrade from AAV. We chose the bullbar for both looks and to house a winch. The winch we have is a 9-ton or 20,000 pound winch from Carbon Offroad. We chose Carbon Offroad because it was highly recommended in Australia and we couldn't really find a proper winch in the same weight category in Europe at that time. To be honest, we've had loads of quality issues when we unpacked the winch, which really hasn't given much confidence in the product. We've not had to use it in a recovery yet, so there's nothing to comment on that. In hindsight, I cannot advise it at the moment, but I would always choose a manufacturer close to home, or at least close to the area where you're traveling if possible. If we have something with this now, we have to deal with Australia, and it would have been much easier if we had something that had a network in Europe. Further up you'll have the deflector and the roof rack, again from AAV. We have two lights boxes, just Amazon boxes. One holds the recovery gear and the other one some small spares. And then we have a spare tire on the other side. Just a tire, because we can only put 70 kilos on the roof. Other upgrades are the lights. So we have two 9-inch Purelux Panther lights from Valostore. More Panthers here with an orange or yellow cover, and then we have some more side lights on the top there. That's a working light, 20 watts. The flares, they come with the package. If you order it from Australia, you'll need that also to comply with regulations, because in Europe your tire cannot be wider than the truck. Then here we have the 200-liter diesel tank, which replaces the original 100-liter one. It was not a straight fit. The main reason is the AdBlue, because we're running an Euro 6 engine and therefore we're running AdBlue. We had to move this as far back as we could with a custom bracket to fit the fuel tank, so it's doable, but it was some work. And the fuel filter now sits tucked between the tank and the chassis. We have two Viair compressors. It's the 485C Gen 2. They run into a 10-liter tank, which is at the bottom of the truck. And then we have a connector in each corner of the truck to feed the air to the wheels. Storage locker, which holds some tools and jacks and that kind of stuff. On the roof of the box you'll find another branch protector. This is just an aluminium profile, which I made myself, this construction. And then moving to the rear of the truck, we have our big box, which holds our mountain bikes. We have a hoist at the bottom, which brings the box down. Therefore we can access it a bit easier. Another storage box here, which holds trash mainly. The well-known Max Tracks, which have helped us a few times. And then we have an outside shower tent and an outside shower connection there. So here is our spare wheel. This is held on by the standard connection delivered to this truck. The only thing is that we moved it backwards a bit to avoid the wheel touching the springs, and we've turned the mechanism 90 degrees. So normally it's to one side, but then you'd have to make a hole in your lockers. And on the right side of the truck there is the huge exhaust system, which I think is also specific to the Euro 6 engine. And then we have a rear locker with our outdoor kitchen and a little sink. We have induction inside, but it's nice to be able to cook outside on gas as well. So that pretty much sums up the tour for this video. We'll do another video later with the interior. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any questions, please just put them in the comments. As said before, we'll put all the links of the components in the description below. And well, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you on the next one.